Hey guys, what's going on? So today we're going to talk about something that I actually did not even know about until very recently. We were going to go and see the new Star Wars movie in theaters a couple weeks ago. And as I was, going on Fandango trying to figure out which theater we wanted to see, there was an option at Cinépolis called 4DX. And so what 4DX is it's kind of like an add-on onto 3D. You have 3D glasses and all that stuff the same way that you would normally do it. But the differentiator is that there are elements within the theater that actually affect the environment, like the weather of the theater, in sync with the movie. So if anybody's been to Disneyland or Disney World, there's that ride where they strap you in and there's the seat that moves. It's kind of like a milder version of that.
Or if you've ever been to one of those, one of those theme parky or like science little mini movies, they'll have kind of like a similar thing, like the hydraulic seats and like water shooting out of you if something's wet. Fog simulations.
So I was very skeptical of this. I read up on it. It's very, very rare. I have not even heard of this before. It hasn't been marketed heavily or anything like that.
It's in select theaters.
It's in select theaters. We were just lucky enough to have one next to us. And so here's how it works. The seats, they move from back and forth and from side to side. So, for instance, if there's a scene where it's a point of view within one of the ships and it's like a battle and it swings to the left, your seat will move to the left drastically to try and simulate the same feeling the pilot would have. Additionally, you get environmental factors. So anytime there's a windy scene, these fans kick in and blow wind in the right direction of where it's supposed to be. There's rain, there's snow, supposedly, even though that didn't factor into this movie. It's really, really cool. I really enjoyed it. There's also vibrators.
So if someone gets punched?
Yeah, in the upper back and the lower back. So when somebody drops on their left side, you get this punch of vibration in your upper left back. It's a really interesting effect. It's kind of expensive. It was $25 a ticket. But honestly, I think it's worth it if you're seeing a movie that is primarily action-based, like Star Wars or...
Hopefully Black Panther.
I was just going to say, hopefully Black Panther. It was really cool. I had a great time.
Now, there are 3 downsides. And I really did enjoy it. As someone who's not crazy about 3D films, I'd prefer give me IMAX over 3D. I really don't care about the 3D. I will say that one as a positive, these 3D glasses fit great over my. I didn't feel like wearing contacts for this, and those glasses actually fit perfectly over my glasses, which aren't terribly small. I mean, they aren't huge either, but that was a plus for me. But some of the drawbacks were one. Whenever there was wind, they'd have these fans on, which were very loud and distracting. So maybe they need to invest in Dyson or something that's silent. 2, the seats were very short, and when I say that, I mean the seats were short. As a tall person, as a super tall.
So person. A little context here. She's 5'11". I'm 6'6". So I'm just used to not fitting into basically anywhere. You are just slightly above the average length of which seats are normally made for. I mean, for me, it was just
very above.
My butt was falling asleep and stuff because I kept having to cross my legs in a weird way. The chairs are not comfortable. So
you feel there were a few times where I felt like when it was propelling forward that I might fall out. There are no seatbelts.
Yeah, there are no seatbelts.
There should be. But also, as if the seat is shorter, I felt like the seat was probably hitting maybe a little bit past my mid thigh, so that much of my leg is just hanging off. I can't imagine where yours was.
It was basically just my butt.
Okay, so
that was why my butt was falling asleep.
Yeah, it's more effort to sit back in the seat because you're trying to not fall out of the seat because your legs have nowhere to go. And then the third downside was there was no leg room. If you want to extend your leg out, I'm all about leg room. I'm a little bit claustrophobic. So I need to be able to stretch my legs out just because.
Yeah, you can't like recline the seats or anything. They're set up in such a way that they have to be like within balance for the hydraulics to work. So
but I feel like it should have more room in that respect. Like the big recliners that you can stretch out in and turn to beds, basically, there's a ton of leg room. I feel like they should have that for these hydraulic seats. Like, I know they want to fit more into the theater, but there should at least be another, I'd say, 6 inches worth of space, especially for like your tall patrons. Like, it was just uncomfortable to sit in, but I'd still do it again.
Yeah,
especially if they do it for Black Panther.
It's a really cool effect. The only thing I didn't like about the effects was the wind, just because I'm super ADD, so hearing the fan kick in,
I'm not ADD at all.
it was like I mean, it like totally overpowers the sound of the movie.
It was hard to hear.
Yeah, one effect that I didn't mention was that there's like lasers in the walls, so when there's like a fight going on and like a TIE fighter or whatever is going against an X-Wing, the like color of the lasers shooting out, they like recreate that in the walls shooting kind of like at you or down. I mean, it's hard to explain. Ooh, you kind of have to see it.
This would be fun for Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
Jurassic World.
It's really, really cool. It's overpriced in my opinion. But
they're trying to get people back into theater seats and not stay home.
Exactly.
And Netflix.
That was my next point. Is that I haven't actually looked up the numbers on this, but I would imagine that the theater industry is probably suffering massively because of all the recent developments in live streaming services like Netflix. It's really tough to get people to get out of their house and go and pay a lot of money to go and sit in a theater and pay for overpriced popcorn and food and all this sort of thing. There's just really no reason to do it, especially when this is happening now too. Some movies that are released in theaters are released on demand at the same time. I mean, I'm not going to pay, if it's $5 to do it at home and it's like $15 in a theater, unless it's an amazing experience that's much different, I'm not going to pay that.
Or an action movie.
This is the attempt to give an experience that you cannot get at home. And I think that it's worth it if it's a movie like Star Wars. It really is cool. I mean, there were certain moments, when the X-Wing was like rolling and stuff, when the way the seat was moving, I felt like I was going upside down in the X-Wing. And I was like, dude, this is really insane.
One other complaint. Fandango had it listed as an 11 o'clock showing, and then the movie theater had it listed as 10:50. So we actually missed the very beginning of the film, which
that's
really
the theater's fault. That's the theater's fault.
I'm just saying, I was mad. You paid that much money for a ticket.
Yeah, I mean, that's the theater's fault. I don't think that's the technology's fault. Keep in mind, this has different names in terms of how it's distributed across the country. I looked it up. Like in LA, they have a similar thing. It's not called 4DX. It's called like something else. I don't even remember the name. So if you're looking up which theater you want to go to, if it has like a different weird name on the end of, instead of just 3D, Google that term to figure out what exactly is entailed, because it'll give you the list of all the different elements that are included within it. 4DX is just the way that it's been marketed to at least the San Diego County within Cinépolis, and I would imagine it's probably the same at all Cinépolises across the country, which I know there are tons of.
Well, there's like some other different types of theaters too. Like there's like I want to say a Regal theater.
No, I know, but they won't call it 4DX, is what I'm saying. Oh. The only one that was called 4DX in all of San Diego County was just Cinépolis.
I thought that was the only place that had it.
It was. That's my point. Oh. And so, but even in LA, they had ones with like vibrating seats that moved back and forth, and it was a totally different name. It was like 3DXX or something like that. So you have to do some research in terms of figuring out like what that means. But once you figure it out, it's really, really fun. I hope it becomes a mainstream thing. I was really surprised that they would pilot it in a place like where we live, which is out in the middle of nowhere. It's really fun. So I encourage you to do that if it's available to you. Anything else?
Black Panther.
I hope it goes to Black Panther. On that note, if you guys like our content, please subscribe right here. Also, follow us on Instagram at RLRichonne. And please check out the brand new blog, TheLivingRichonne.blog, where we talk about stuff like this and other developments in the entertainment industry. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.